What's the good word, y'all? It's your boy DKB here. I know we're going to be going into a little bit of lull here with the Jets having about 40 days or so off before training camp kicks off, but I came across a report that really ended up irking me quite a bit, although in the grand scheme of things, it really means nothing. But there was a report out there stating that there was another leak from the New York Jets front office. 49ers tight end George Kittle specifically mentioned he had a run-in at some point with a New York Jets front office member that said something along the lines of, hey, can't wait to see you guys week one. George Kittle, mouths off something to the effect of, you just messed up, right? I'm going to go tell everybody. I don't know if that was actually the case, but there was a story or something on his Instagram that he posted that showed Aaron Rodgers playing the 49ers, and I don't even think he was in the picture, but hinting at what the matchup would have been prior to the schedule being released, right? So there is some credence to this story, and it just makes me think that for all of the turnover that we've seen in the coaching staff and in the front office, when you want to talk about Chad Alexander leaving, and I'm forgetting the other guy's name off the top of my head, but when you want to talk about the turnover there and the reports that you think about just recent events, we have this George Kittle schedule release leak. We have now you also have Randall Cobb crapping over how we leaked the information about Zach Wilson. I won't say we, but someone in the organization leaking information about Zach Wilson and his thoughts on returning to the starting lineup. You have the huge article that came out about everything happening with Robert Saleh and the Zach Wilson leak and everything. And so it's just been time after time after time. And this is definitely more of a recent situation since maybe acquiring Aaron Rodgers, right? Prior to that, when we went out and drafted Zach Wilson, we had the subsequent draft classes and everything, there was starting to get this perception to me within our organization that Joe Douglas has really found a way to button a lot of these guys down here. You think about plenty of drafts before this, where I guess the Zach Wilson draft isn't necessarily a great example either, because we started getting a ton of reports saying that he was definitely going to be the guy coming out. But, all of that can still be speculative. There was this sense, though, that Joe Douglas had things played close to his vest. Either he wasn't telling people within his organization a ton of stuff and really only letting his plans to be known exactly at the last minute, or he was sharing the information to those that need to know, and there was a respect level and integrity level, whatever you want to call it, to where that information was not leaving that building. And that slowly but surely seems to be dissipated. And I don't even know if slowly is the way to call it anymore. And it is concerning. This feels like one of those matters where something can implode very, very quickly, especially in this season with the expectations that we have. I've seen a lot of people refer to it as a boom or bust season. It really is deep playoff run, and depending on who you speak to, Super Bowl, or everything was for naught. And you can definitely kind of throw me in that category. The whole intention and purpose behind Aaron Rodgers wasn't to just make it to the playoffs after not doing so in 13 plus years. It was to capture a ring. It's not just about returning. We feel we have the talent and the level, and according to Woody Johnson and plenty of others, we were just a quarterback away from getting that done. So when I take a look at all of these events that have happened, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. I don't want there to be a situation this year where, maybe we don't, maybe we have a 500 record or excuse me, football gods forbid, we have a losing record or something after, let's just say, the first quarter of the season. And then now you start having a lot of these leaks come out again about what it was like with Aaron Rodgers during minicamp and OTAs and him missing mandatory minicamp and whatever's happening leading up to the season. And suddenly some of the players did feel some kind of way about him not being there, or, Jordan Travis not having that mentor relationship like Zach Wilson advised, with Aaron Rodgers and all this other kind of drama that's going on. because there has been a lot of good. When I take a look at this off season, I've heard they've revamped how they've gone about, stretching and exercise and stuff. There's a lot of drills. There's a lot of individual work that's being done that actually simulates football activities. It's one of the things that I hated most growing up when I was going through trying to get into sports, is that we would do a lot of things that didn't replicate or parlay itself to being on the field or on the court, or whatever sport that you're playing. And so just really seemed redundant, especially if it wasn't for weight training or anything of that nature. But we've revamped that. We've obviously brought in a huge influx of talent. Literally, undrafted free agent class is a plus. The draft class is a plus. The free agency class is a plus. You imagine we're still going to go out there and try to hit the waiver wire. We acquire great options via trade. And so it really should be an amazing feel-good story. The only issue that should really be hanging over our head, and by the way, this is another issue, is the Hassan Reddick story with some of the new information that we did make it very clear our intention was to try to let him play out this year, pending any extenuating circumstances maybe that'll come up, such as elite play before week 8 or whatever the case is. But I don't know. I don't want to read into this too much, but it does really, really make me think that regardless of any success or failure we have this year, this is something that Joe Douglas still needs to make sure he can find out how, not just to get a cap on, but how to really find a resolution to this issue, which is always going to be hard. People talk, and it is what it is, but you don't want your laundry out in the street for a reason. Robert Saleh does a really, really good job, regardless of how we feel about how he handles these press conferences and stuff. But he always defers to either keep things in-house or deflect to allow a particular individual to speak up if they feel the need to do so. But he always tries to make sure that this is an in-house issue. We'll address it that way. I'll let you know what you need to know, but otherwise just know it's being handled, it's being resolved. And I don't think that theme, that message is being shared or at least respected inside the organization. So there's a rap problem around here potentially still, which is really weird because Joe Douglas still doesn't have a left or right hand man, from my understanding, in the front office organization. And I doubt we'll find somebody in season to really handle that, right? So what's happening there? There are some internal promotion guys and all this other stuff. But we'll see how it plays out. Again, I'm just kind of spitballing here my thoughts, because when I seen it, I had to double check and see if it was maybe one of those what do you call it? Not hyperbolic, but I wanted to say heretic, and that's not it either. But one of those joke websites where obviously it's kind of a parody thing. They're using to draw you in. Nonetheless, though, let me know what you guys think here. It's just something that happened to cross my mind, and I want to get some quick thoughts out there for it. Let me know what you guys think about a lot of the leaks we've been dealing with recently, as well as, prior to last year ending, and how that may reflect on us moving forward. And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.